Were you that kid always into sports, or what was your childhood like?
I tried to be in sports, I was just not very good.
Okay, but was that a passion, like maybe watching sports, or was that something that kind of inspired you?
I played a bit of football, I swam, but it was just a little bit here and the other side. It wasn't so a passion of mine, no.
And of course, about Jungle Cry. So, playing a rugby coach, what was the prep like? I'm sure it's pretty different from your other films. So,
Prep in general this is a true story, which actually I found most interesting because it shines a light on the fact that, these kids play rugby, but rugby isn't a popular sport for the media to shine a light on too much, or at all for that matter. It's an institute that is built specifically for kids from tribal backgrounds, and these kids aren't someone who would get media time share or even stories written about them in the film industry, what is traditionally Bollywood, so to speak. So to see that they had come up the hard way and achieved so much, won the World Cup, and still not got any attention because we just so happened to have won the Cricket World Cup in that same year. I found that really intriguing, insightful. And as far as prep is concerned, I usually have to prep for superficial things like if I have an accent or something with body language that I have to do, maybe a limp or whatever have you. Those things take practice. But if I just have to perform, be a person, an individual, then all I need is the story. And I learn my dialogues literally on set because when I block a scene, it sits down. My method is to put myself out there. When you're not so prepared, it gives you, you're in chaos and there's this fear of failure. And it's from that vulnerability that you come with a strength. And that's how I prep, by not prepping.
yeah, absolutely. And like you said, your films have never been the conventional route. When people were playing safe, you were doing a Devdi and a Oi Lucky Lucky Oi and a Shanghai.
Yeah.
What was it that made you take those decisions and stand by those films much before their time?
I was only doing what I felt I could do authentically and give myself to, with conviction. My money was never the motive. Yeah, sure, I want to make money, don't get me wrong, but it's not the driving factor. Creativity was the driving factor. And so I didn't do those films to be different or to prove a point. No, I did them because that's what came naturally through me. And I felt like if I am in a position of privilege, who else is going to do it if not someone in my position? Does that mean that I don't make sacrifices? Sure. Just because you have privilege doesn't mean you don't sacrifice. I did sacrifice the star game for sure in as a result of it. But the advantage I got from my background wasn't the privilege of getting work because I'd created my own work. The advantage was knowing that fame and money don't necessarily bring you happiness because I came from a family that had both. And I saw that that was not the route to happiness. Happiness is in being free. And you know what? Fame and money usually takes away that very thing, which is freedom.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.